Now, what about the rest of my deck? What makes the rest of my deck so special? The difference is my deck is a wind-up turbo deck. So it concentrates around the wind-up loop through using the monsters. Monsters that help pull off the loop faster: Gillosaurus, Birdman, Junk Forward, Kagemucha, and TG Werewolf. These are all monsters that can special summon themselves, and another key aspect is that they're all level 3 monsters. 8 of them are actually dark monsters. These bottom 6, the Kagemucha and the Junk Forwards, are warriors, so they are searchable with reinforcement of the army. Junk Forward, if you have no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. This card is amazing in combo with TG Werewolf. Birdman, you can special summon this card from your hand by returning a monster that's on the field. So Birdman is great with Werewolf, especially because I can normal summon Werewolf, return Werewolf to my hand to special summon Birdman, and then when Birdman is special summoned, TG Werewolf's effect triggers and I can special summon it because Birdman was special summoned. Gillosaurus, you can special summon this from your hand. If you do, your opponent can special summon a monster. The wording on this is key because it means your opponent doesn't have to special summon a monster in order for you to be able to special summon this. So if they have a monster in the grave that they normally can't special summon, then you can still special summon this card. If they don't have any monsters in grave, you can still special summon Gillosaurus. If they affect Veiler, one of your Zen Mighty, you can still special summon Gillosaurus. And if you have another level 3 in hand and haven't used your normal summon, you can still keep your loop going. Getting the level 3 monsters to the field and special summoning as much as possible. Kagemucha Knight, its effect is when you normal summon a level 3 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. The only problem with this card is it can't be used as a synchro material monster, but more often than not, you're really just using it for an Xyz summon. Since we're running 8 extra darks on top of Wind-Up Hunter, who is also a dark monster, I teched in a Dark Arm Dragon. Dark Arm Dragon is a great addition to the deck because of all the graveyard control thanks to Wind-Up Rats. I've been able to special summon him many times, especially if he's in my opening hand. I just do my best to send as many hunters as I can to the graveyard and I usually end up with 3 darks in the first or second turn. Lower Darkness is great also. It lets me remove a hunter so that I can use it with vi3t Dragon. And sometimes I'm able to rip a 5th card from my opponent's hand because I was able to draw into extra cards to help me special summon and remove a hunter from my hand. Removing a Wind-Up Hunter allows me to special summon it back with vi3t Dragon if I go into my last Xyz monster as vi3t, and if I still have a Wind-Up Carrier or another Wind-Up monster on the field, it lets me use Hunter's effect again. If you can special summon 3 level 3 monsters onto the field, then you basically have the Wind-Up loop for at least 3 cards, if not more depending on what else is left in your hand. One of the best combos is Junk Forward special summon TG Werewolf, and special summon Birdman, returning TG Werewolf, special summon TG Werewolf. This is where you go into a Wind-Up Carrier Zen Mighty, use this effect, special summon a Wind-Up Hunter, tribute Zen Mighty, take 1 card from your opponent's hand, and then go into another Wind-Up Carrier and keep it going with the rats. So what else do I play in this deck? The other cards in this deck are staples: Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn. Mind Control is, in this deck it works very well because of the mini level 3s, and Shark can become a level 5 Wind Up Magician and Wind Up Shark are also regularly level 4s. Triple Space Typhoon because if I end up going second and my opponent doesn't know I'm playing wind-ups, then Space Typhoon will help me get my combo off safely by destroying any potential destructive back rows like Torrential Tribute or Fiendish Chain. Smash and Ground is against rabbit decks, and also just in case my opponent top decks like Blackluster Soldier and they have a Light and Dark engrave, or if I send 3 darks to that grave, they tap deck a Dark Arm Dragon. This will help me against big monsters that my opponent has. My last tech card, which is my only trap in the deck, is the Transmigration Prophecy. It targets 2 cards in the graveyard or graveyards and shuffle those targets into the decks. This card is great to return a Zen Mighty and a Rat back into my deck, or I can use it to stop my opponent's Monster Reborn, Call of the Haunted. I can also stop Insector decks by returning the Hornet back into the deck if they've already sent it to the graveyard. So there's a lot of utility with this card to either help myself or stop my opponent / slow my opponent down. So that's my deck profile. Let me go into my choices for my extra deck. Giga Brilliant is amazing. It's a light monster, and on top of that, it powers up your Zen Mighties to 1800 and then 2100 if they survive another turn. So it helps you keep getting a lot of advantage with Wind Up Carrier Zen Mighty by increasing its attack and allowing it to more likely stay on the field. Leviair, the Sea Dragon. You know, it's self-explanatory. Special summon removed monsters, especially if they were moved with Dark Arm Dragon or Allure of Darkness. Utopia, I debated whether to use Utopia or to use Steel Swarm Roach. Utopia is better because it has higher attack and it can stall. Zenmaio and Adrius. There have been a lot of times where I felt if I had a Zenmaio, I would have been better off, had a stronger advantage, because typically when my opponent is going against the wind-up deck and I've looped them, then they're setting so many cards most of the time because they're not drawing into what they need. But it's very difficult to gauge whether or not those face-down cards, those set cards, are dangerous or not. So Zenmaio allows me to destroy them, and it's definitely a great rank 5. Adrius is a beater and it destroys a face-up card. Great rank 5. We're gonna go into my 4 synchro monsters: Scrap Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Black Rose Dragon, and Bryo. These work well with Wind Up Shark and Gen X Ally Birdman. Wind Up Shark allows me to go into level 8s or Bryo or Black Rose Dragon. It's amazing. I'm missing one more card from my extra deck, and that is the Wind Up Carrier Zen Mains. Everyone's holding on to them so tightly, so I'm still trying to find a good deal for it. Of course, gotta have my 4 tokens and my side deck. The main thing that hurts the Wind Up deck the most is Maxi. If they Veiler my Zen Mighty or my Magician, I can sometimes play through that, so it's not a big deal. But if they Max C, I'm kind of lost, like, shoot, I can't go forward with the loop. So my best bet would be to go into a power monster or into a defensive monster like Wind Up Zen Mains. Side deck right now: Snowman Eater, Spirit Reaper. These 2 are for the Rabbit matchup. Thunder King Ryos are just great utility side deck cards against most other decks, including heroes and rabbits. Gores is in there. I'm not sure I'm debating whether or not to take this out. Vanity's Fiend, great card to stop your opponent's special summons. Starlight Road. The reason I put Starlight Road in is because I have a Stardust Dragon and the rest of my side deck is traps. Mirror Force and Torrential Tributes for protection. Vanity's Emptiness to stop special summons. Solemn Judgment to negate anything. Royal Decree to stop other traps depending on how trap heavy they are and how trap light I am. Solemn Warning, just one. Michael Balin had a great idea. Just one Solemn Warning is necessary. You don't need two if you run the Solemn Judgment, and it helps prevents you from dead drawing a Solemn Warning. Debunk against those Max C's, those Veilers, those hand traps. The only problem with Debunk is it's a counter trap, so if I go second, if I go first, I can't use Debunk. I need to wait till my third or fourth turn in order to be able to use this, which kind of sucks because at that point, most of the time, anyone playing against a wind-up deck typically sets their entire hand if they know that they're not playing wind-up Inzektors. This is my deck profile. I will be posting up a video at the end of this week. Actually, I'm planning to post up 2 videos at the end of this week to talk about Wilson Zhang and Michael Balin's deck. They both top 8'd at the YCS Long Beach, where over 4,000 players had entered the tournament. I'll talk more about it in my next video. And I'm still working on creating the video with the hands that I get on Dueling Network with this deck specifically. So look forward to that. Take it easy, YouTubers.